Are you freaking out about the high cost of college? If so, in this short video, I want to talk about 5 opportunities that you have to save massive amounts of money off the cost of college. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Lance Morgan. I am the Amazon best-selling author of the Retirement Scholarship Strategy book. But more importantly, I'm also the father of 5 college-bound students myself. So if anybody understands the stress about how you're going to possibly be able to help these kids pay for college, I understand where you're coming from. So let's dive in to 5 opportunities that you have to massively reduce the cost of college. Starting with college savings. This starts when your kids are born all the way until college is done, because you might be saving for next semester's payment, right? So college savings is a big part of the savings for college, starting with, of course, compounding interest being the obvious. The sooner you get started, the more compound interest you're going to have help you, which is going to reduce the cost of college. But even for those of you who have high school students or college students, there's still massive savings to be had through college savings. For example, you want to make sure that your college savings plan is tax deferred and that you can access the money tax-free. You also want to be able to make sure you're getting a competitive rate of return on your money and low fees. You'd be surprised how much fees could save you just in choosing the right plan. Also, make sure that you can put in lots of money into your college savings plan, because if you already have kids in high school, you might be behind and you might need to be saving a lot of money to be able to catch up for their high cost of college. Now, what about no market losses? In a perfect world, you don't want to lose any money in the market. Remember 2007 and 8? People had to work another 10 years to get their retirement back. With college savings, you don't have the luxury of time. So you want to make sure that you are earning a great rate of return, but without losing money in the market. Now, what about the money that you're saving? You don't want it to affect your EFC number. What is that? That's your expected family contribution number. It's the number they calculate when you fill out the financial aid forms to see if you qualify for financial aid. And depending on where you're saving your money, like in a college 529 plan, for example, that's going to hurt your EFC number. That's pretty frustrating when somebody else gets more free money who didn't save for college and you get penalized for saving for college. You want to make sure you're saving for college in the right vehicles that don't hurt your EFC number. Now, what about collateral opportunities? What if your college savings is earning 8% on average, or even 7%? And what if you could borrow the money for college at 5%? What if you could use your money as collateral to get those low rates? Then you're really saving lots of money. You also want to be able to guarantee those loans. You don't want to have to qualify through credit or application checks, right? Now, you also, in a perfect world, how would you like to have an unstructured loan payment where you can borrow against your college savings plan and you get to decide the loan terms and payments, right? Or what about having access to your college savings in case of an emergency, but without a penalty or tax implications, right? What if you have life throw you a little curveball and you need access to the money temporarily? You want to have that opportunity as well. And don't underestimate the fact that who knows where higher education is going to be in 5 to 10 years from now. Your kids may want to use this money for a non-traditional education expense, like maybe starting a business or taking a class through a local corporation that offers certifications instead of a degree, or even a trade school. Whatever the case may be, you want your flexibility as part of your options, right? Now, once it gets ready to start selecting colleges and getting into that college planning stage, lots of money could be saved here. For example, the obvious would be scholarship money. You want to get good GPA and test scores and build up that resume while the kids are in school, and that's going to definitely help you to reduce the cost of college through traditional scholarships. But what about those who don't qualify for scholarships, or maybe your kids aren't exceptionally gifted, right? So there's another way to get lots of free money through financial aid, which is all based on that number I mentioned, the EFC number, because this is not based on the merits of the student. This is based on the financials of the family, right? Big area to save money here as well. How about college selection? What if you could go to a top tier private school, an $80,000+ a year school, for the cost of a local state school because of your EFC number, or maybe because you have multiple kids in school? Don't underestimate when it comes to choosing schools. Some schools might cost a lot more than others, and that is a huge savings. Don't just look at schools that are a good academic and social fit. Make sure they're a good financial fit as well. And if they're not, don't go on college visits. Don't plan your summer vacations around schools that aren't a good academic, social, and financial fit. That could save you lots of money right there. Now, what about graduation rates? You want to be able to get done as quick as possible. Some schools like to graduate, some schools like to educate without really urgency around graduation. You want to make sure these schools are getting kids in and out in as short a period of time as possible. Now, when it comes to filling out your financial aid forms, massive mistakes are made just by putting wrong information in a financial aid form. It's kind of like filling out taxes. If you fill out your taxes wrong, you pay more taxes. That's why people hire CPAs. Financial aid forms are very similar. They're meant to be confusing. You want to be able to fill them out correctly to maximize the free money from government and the schools. Now, don't underestimate appealing your awards. Just because you get an offer doesn't mean you have to take that offer. You can ask and negotiate for more free money. Our average client saves about $3,000 just through a particular way of asking for more free money through this appeals process. Obviously, there's an art to it, but don't underestimate appeals. You don't have to just take your first offer, okay? Now, college funding, this is where the biggest savings happens. I like to say that how you pay for college is 10 times more important than how much you pay for college. Now, this is a little bit controversial, but everyone will finance college. Yes, even those of you who have lots of money saved for college and you plan on just paying cash for college, you are still financing college because you will either pay interest for the use of somebody else's money or you will lose interest on the money that you could have earned, right? There's what we call the opportunity cost. So what if you could earn an average of 7% on your money, and what if you could borrow somebody else's money at 5%? Now think about that for a minute. That's like two cars driving across the country, one going 70 miles an hour, one going 50 miles an hour. That is a massive difference between the two, which could actually get you an entire refund or a rebate on the cost of college during your retirement years. How would you like to get $100,000, even $300,000 per student back during retirement just in how you pay for college? So don't underestimate it. Traditionally, there's only two ways to pay for college. You either pay cash using cash flow or draining your savings, or you borrow college loans and then just make those loan payments forever. In either of those scenarios, you don't have anything back for retirement. Leveraging somebody else's money, getting what we call a positive spread on your money could be huge, which is why we talked about needing to be able to use your college savings as collateral. All right, now that means that if you understand this concept, don't underestimate college loans. I know most people don't want college loans, but college loans can be very beneficial if you know how to utilize college loans and get the most out of those college loans. What if you could take out college loans at a low rate, defer the payments, and let your college savings continue to grow? Big, big, big savings just in how you pay for college. Now, to continue this, you don't want to have any difference between your college funding plan and your college savings plan. Your college funding plan should meet all the same criteria that your college savings plan has, because you are still paying for college and you're still saving for college even while your kids are in college. So don't underestimate all those same benefits. Now, once the kids graduate, now we've got these college loans, but this is where I call it, you've got financial aid on the front end before college, then you've got financial aid on the back end after college. Believe it or not, the government has lots of programs to help families in how they pay back these college loans. So there's a lot of strategies behind utilizing these college loans through consolidating the loans. Maybe you want to refinance them for a lower rate. Maybe you want to consider using home equity to pay off these college loans. But then there's also the consideration of the payments. Should you do a 10, 15, 25, 30 year? I mean, think about it. The cost of college is like a mortgage these days. So maybe we should consider how we pay for college like we do buying a house. A lot of things to consider. Maybe you want a low payment so you have more money to save for retirement. Something to consider. Now, like I said, there's also what we call financial aid on the back end, through things like the college loan forbearance options that are available, or income-based repayment plans. Did you know that you could get on an income-based repayment plan and only pay a certain percentage of your income, kind of like a tax, right? Now, what about income contingent repayment or public service loan forgiveness? These are all programs that the government has put in place to help families pay back these college loans, just like there's government programs to help families pay for college in the beginning. Like I said, I call this financial aid on the back end, all right? Now, where in the world are you going to come up with the money to actually pay for college? Be careful, because depending on where you come up with the money, you could also be making huge mistakes, all right? For example, what if you could reduce your taxes and minimize your taxes by implementing some tax strategies to save some money that could go towards your college savings plan? Or what about strategies on how you're paying off your house? What if everything you knew about paying off your house turned out not to be true? When would you want to know? There's some massive savings here. What about your retirement savings? What if your current savings plans are not the ideal college savings plans? What if you're paying more in fees, or what if you're going to end up paying more in taxes? Just in how you fund your retirement could be massive savings here. Should you use your retirement savings to pay for college? That could be a huge financial mistake, right? What about major capital purchases in addition to college? I mean, heck, I've got 4 weddings to plan for, right? There are other major expenses in addition to college, and of course we have college funding and consumer debt. How would you rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10 in your competency in all of these areas? Believe it or not, unfortunately, we just don't learn a lot about money anymore in school or from our parents, because they didn't learn it from their parents. So sometimes we're making a lot of financial mistakes in these areas that if we take some of these areas and improve on these areas, we could find more free money that we could come up with to help us pay for college. So I hope this has been helpful and given you some things to think about. I want to offer everyone a free strategy session so that we can dive into some of these in more detail and discuss how we can help you to reduce the cost of college. So go to www.collegefundingcall.com, and when you get there, you're going to get to our calendar, and on our calendar, you're going to pick a date and a time that is available. Now, we've actually opened up our calendars for the next couple of weeks so that we can take some of these calls to help you out. Normally, we're pretty much booked solid, but we want to be able to help you as well. So we've opened up our calendar to be able to take some of these calls. So go to this website, collegefundingcall.com, pick a date and time that works for you. We ask you just a few basic pieces of information so that we can hit the ground running during our call, and we will give you a call during your scheduled appointment. So be looking for our call, book your appointment at collegefundingcall.com, and I can't wait to help to see how much we can save you off the cost of college.